Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of In the Know, all the happenings of the Broadcom acquisition of VMware. I'm Brian Hokelman, VP of Product and Business Development here at OTAVA, and I'm joined today by Austin Cook, VP of Finance, Controller, Legal Counsel, CEO sidekick, wearing a lot of different hats, but definitely an instrumental part of our team here. And today we want to talk a little bit about the Broadcom program, contract structure, flow downs, and how we're anticipating executing on all this, because there's just a lot of unknowns right now. So we just want to put everything on the table, kind of tell you where OTAVA's collective head is at, and kind of get it into it from there. But before we get going, Austin, you're a big basketball guy. You know, we're in March Madness. How are you guys doing? How are the teams doing?
It's the biggest time of the year for college basketball. I'm an ex-college basketball player myself. I emphasize the ex, just for the record. I'm long removed. But it's been a blast. I'm a big fan of the upset. So I've had a Michigan team. You know, I'm Michigan born and raised, and so had Oakland University upset in the first round. So that was a blast. So I'm having fun. My 7-year-old's bracket is doing better than mine. So I might not be the expertise on how to pick your brackets, but we're having a lot of fun through
it. and he picked them on based on the mascot, I'm assuming.
A mascot and the colors of their jerseys, 100%, and he is winning.
Awesome. Well, listen, we want to just talk through some of the details of what we know today, what we're anticipating, how we're positioning OTAVA to help in our Broadcom ecosystem. So obviously we're a premier partner, and we've got a lot of energy right now around the registered tier, what I call the sub CSPs, who are interested in partnering with OTAVA to start to consume their Advantage licenses in the program going forward. And there's, frankly, a healthy tension right now, because we're trying to get as much information as we can from Broadcom about the program, details about the terms and conditions of those agreements, the flow downs, and all the things we're going to have to deal with. And we're trying to balance that against the market opportunity and, just the energy out there right now, because these registered tier partners have to find a home, and there's some deadlines, around the end of the month here in March, going right into April, and that's creating a lot of anxiety. And what we've been trying to do is articulate that there are no answers to some of these questions, and the ecosystem as a whole is going to be out of compliance for some period of time. So we're going through that process right now, and you've helped us a lot in terms of being able to, with what we know today, send out some quotes, and being able to at least give some expectations in terms of what these sub CSPs would be paying on a core per core basis, and I think it's really different. You and I have been in this business a long time, and there's always, the indemnity, the terms of liability, or and all the kind of the big four in terms of the things that we like to negotiate. Broadcom, I think, will be pretty firm, and as a matter of fact, I know they are. We're going to have to accept the terms and conditions of those agreements. But tell me a little bit about how you think about that with what we know now, and what the contract vehicle structure is going to be as we start to be able to send an agreement out to a registered tier CSP partner.
Yeah, Brian, the question of contracts has come up a lot, not surprisingly. And I categorize maybe the responses into three themes, or the questions that we're hearing into three themes. And those are, what do the license flow down terms look like, right? My partner's committing to Broadcom, I'm committing to my partner. So what do those terms look like? What's my cost going to be, right? There's an overall program change for partners from memory to cores, right? Previously paying on the memory used, now to the cores that are committed. And then for a lot of the enterprise customers that are used to perpetual licensing, that's moving to a subscription base. So a lot of questions around what's my cost going to be. And then the third is, what type of commitment am I going to have to make, right? Is it 3 years? Is it 5 years? What does that look like? And so, as it relates to licensing flow down, thankfully, OTAVA has been a top VMware partner for a long time. And so, while the Broadcom agreements haven't been finalized and accepted by partners yet, that's going to happen here in another month or so. And so there's still some potential changes in those. We feel comfortable that we can get our partners as in the know as possible, given our historic kind of partnership with VMware and what we know today from Broadcom. So that's kind of the flow down terms. From a cost perspective, there's been a lot of noise out there. I've listened to podcasts and looked at different messaging boards and seen all kinds of different feedback on what customers and partners are seeing in their potential price changes. And so I know there's a lot of different outcomes out there, based on the organization. But what I can say is that under this new structure, OTAVA is committed to providing simple, transparent pricing that allows organizations to understand what their costs are going to look like under this new program. And offer a structure that allows for kind of incentivization or steeper discounts the more cores you're able to commit, which, a customer grows with us, they can save more. And so that's maybe from the cost side. And then on the commitment side, we have details from Broadcom on really two offerings: no commitment, so month-to-month option, and a 3-year agreement. And so as of today, we're passing down those two commitment levels to our customers and providing steep discounts at that 3-year commitment to align with VMware's new program. And so at a high level, those are the themes that I'm hearing about a lot in the marketplace about the contractual points, and I think how OTAVA is addressing them.
Yeah, and I think we have and OTAVA's in this space too, where we have this lack of clarity, the lack of a tangible agreement that we can actually evaluate and understand the implications to OTAVA and any other partners that we have is forthcoming. And so in the meantime, we have a month of uncertainty in terms of billing, right? So we know that
Right.
we're probably not going to be able to, well, one, partners can't transact on the Broadcom portal until, rough and tough May 6th, right? And so that's the date that we're targeting. And during the month of April, we're going to be using existing usage meters, and customers are going to be paying usage on the old structure around RAM, and then we move into this core-based billing structure. So at least we're able to provide some clarity around what it looks like after we get through this time period, and then we're all in the same boat again, just in terms of we're going to get a bill for April and May, and it kind of is what it is. We're gonna, if you want to continue to be a part of the ecosystem and a VMware user, you're going to have to really accept those terms and conditions or those billing details. But in terms of the flow downs and the things you're thinking about, you touched on the big ones. I think we're going to be in a position where we're going to be accepting a lot of things that Broadcom is just not going to negotiate. It's going to really be an online agreement. But in terms of how we're thinking about portability, there's a lot of unknowns around that. How are you thinking about our relationships with our CSPs and those commitments as it pertains to portability on those cores?
Yeah, it's a question we're hearing, and to your point, we don't have full clarity on what portability of core commitments will look like under the new partner program. With that said, we are committed to the extent possible to be able to provide that portability to our customers. And so for white label customers, for example, that commit cores with OTAVA under that program, that want to leverage a solution that OTAVA provides, maybe in a different product set that demands core commit, we can provide that flexibility, right? We're not looking to commit cores under a white label program and they have to stay there forever, right? And so I think we'll be able to provide some flexibility to customers that say, I have my own equipment, for example, today, and I'm providing, to my customers on that equipment. But, that life cycle refresh is 18 months from now, and I want to consider whether I want to refresh that capital, right? Because that can be a hefty check to write, or, continue to service my customers on the OTAVA cloud. And so under a 3-year commitment structure, which from what we understand today is it's no commitment or 3-year commitment is the core commit options that Broadcom's has available today. And so under that structure, we know a lot of companies are hesitant to say 3 years is a long time. I don't know what my cloud strategy is going to be long term. I don't know what my hardware strategy is going to be long term. And so we're committed to being able to provide as much flexibility around that commitment time as we can, right? And so if in 18 months you need to do a capital refresh, or a customer says, hey, I'm not convinced that I want to write a $10 million check for new capital for my business, and we can, we have those cores committed with OTAVA, we can move that commitment right over to a cloud solution, for example, to be able, to not have to double pay, right? Because that's the goal. No one wants to have to waste money. And so to the extent that we can provide financial flexibility for our partners throughout this, we're committed to doing that.
That's excellent. I think the other thing that we're hearing is, so now Broadcom's basically forcing, roughly 4,000 service providers into the Advantage program, where they have to partner with a pinnacle or premier provider like OTAVA, and they're anxious, right? Because we're actually competing, in the same space and the same geographies in many cases. We're contemplating, we're committed to actually having some sort of non-compete relationship with those downstream customers. Tell us a little bit about how you think that's going to shake out, what the critical components of that program are going to be.
Yeah, Brian, it's a new world for everyone, right? And so, with the change of VMware purchasing, right, a lot of folks previously bought direct from VMware, and now nearly everyone's buying through a partner. So that's new for a lot of people. I've been hearing the topic of what I'll call conflict of interest coming up a bit as it relates to the partner community, or MSPs. And so it's a change for a lot of people. And what I would say is OTAVA has been operating in the partner and channel community for a long, long time. And we've been a licensing partner in different areas for a long time. So we get the concerns. And in my mind, there's really two different areas to think about, or maybe two tracks to think about. One is the white label program. And so, for MSPs, this is a change for them, right? They're going to be buying their VMware to deploy on their own hardware through a partner. And OTAVA is a premier partner in that white label resale, does not have the ability to see end customers. That's what I'm hearing about the most, is in the idea of like the non-compete, right? And so OTAVA as a partner, or as a premier partner reselling in this white label program, we can't see who the customers are, right? Whether it's now or in the future as you add them. We're able to see the number of cores that you commit, right? And that's what the Broadcom program is. It's based on the number of cores committed. And so I think as we've been talking to partners and they've been getting an understanding around that, I think that's calmed some of the concerns around the non-compete ideas that, hey, look, we're not asking to see your customers. We can't see them anyway. And, we're just here to provide that licensing to help kind of move your business forward. So that's one side. The other side's a little bit different. And I think that's, MSPs who resell OTAVA's cloud, right? And they're adding their services on top of that. And for those partners, we do, and we have for a long time, offered an opportunity to register opportunities for their end customers. And we do that because a lot of partners will ask OTAVA team to join them in front of an end customer prospect, right? To prove that value and to help maybe understand end customer needs a little more deeply, and just be an arm to support our partners in selling to their end customers. And so in those scenarios, we provide a mechanism to be able to register those opportunities, to provide, just a framework to give comfort as OTAVA stepping in to support our customers. So, from the conversations that I've been having and that I've been hearing with our customers, with our partners, I think we've been able to provide some clarity through that. And I hope a little bit of peace of mind in a time of uncertainty for the folks in the market throughout this change.
Yeah, so I think we're doing all the very, we'll just say partner friendly, steps that we're taking in terms of how we're structuring contracts, agreements, and how we're working to jumpstart, maybe some of the decisions that our partner community is going to be forced into making here in the next 30 to 45 days. So really appreciate the partnership with your side of the organization. I think OTAVA is partner friendly. I think that we are a dynamic and nimble organization, so we can make these decisions very quickly, and we can provide clarity very, very quickly as well, just as we're doing today. So I really appreciate your time, Austin, and we will catch the partner community in the near future.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate the time. Thanks for having me on.